When the calendar page flips to November, I love hunting my favorite location, South Dakota. I grew up there, so it's a great place to go back to. I know all these little haunts, places to be, and whenever I'm traveling around and have an extra day or two like I got on this hunt, it's where I race back to. Race back from Kansas, race back from Wyoming, race back from Illinois. South Dakota for me is one of those hot spots where I know how to hunt it, I always have good action, and it makes for great memories. Now, a lot of folks, they think of South Dakota as the little house on the prairie flatlands type of terrain. It's not. There's a lot of gentle, rolling coulees, draws. Even in the east, there's wetlands, cornfields, drainages, all these little pockets and dips to hide yourself. The deer hide pretty good in there as well, but it makes for great, great spot and stalk hunting, aggressive hunting if you're going in somewhere to rattle, and just simply stand hunting. You can get up on these high knobs and stand hunt on them and watch a river bottom, a funnel, a creek, any type of terrain that might funnel a buck. Whitetail hunters today, they're kind of passive hunters. You know, they take their lunch in to their tree stand, they sit there all day. Hey, that's cool. I do the same thing when I'm hauling my bow and arrow around. But when it's time to get after deer during the rut, and I've got a rifle in my hand, I love getting aggressive. I love going right into a whitetail's neighborhood, right into his bedroom, and making a ruckus. You know, the naughty neighbor that just goes into someone's house and makes a mess? I like to go into a buck's neighborhood, right into his bedroom, and make a ruckus. Rattle, grunt, bleat, snort, wheeze, put them all together and make him think there is some action going on down the hall, and he can't miss it. Now, this aggressive calling, it's not for everyone. If you don't like to be unprepared and have things show up in your face, don't do it, because you might wet your pants. It is heart-stopping action when a buck comes in. His nostrils are flared, there could be snot and saliva dripping out of him. It is definitely memory-making hunting action. Completely. He took it like a catfish takes stink bait. He thinks there's deer right here. He's just pacing in there. Now he's running back in the brush to look. Why couldn't he be a big one? That's the fun of the rut. At no other time of the year can you have this much fun with whitetails. Usually they're schizophrenic, paranoid, can't get close to them. Anything makes them spooky. That buck right there was within bow range 3 different times. You know, bumping deer isn't a bad thing during the rut. The deer will get up and they'll run into a spot. Generally, deer don't go that far in their escape flee. But what happens is, as they run into the cover, they get other deer up and curious. And during the rut, that may get a buck up to start making another loop. He don't know right away if that's an escape mode or if it's a chase mode, and he's missing out on the action. So this buck here just took off and ran. It's not a bad thing. He may run right into another buck, get him up running, put him right out in front of us for an opportunity. This is a great spot to set up to call. Now, I haven't gone too far into a bedding area. In fact, I just tiptoed in maybe 20 or 30 yards from a backdoor edge where you can come out of a coulee. All all around me, bedding cover. To get into these spots, use these back doors. Walk silently, tiptoe just like a deer. Walk, stop, and if you think you're gonna get busted, you might even wanna grunt once or twice. Gotta be careful because you may grunt a deer in. But you wanna pick a place that has easy access because it's not easy getting into a bedding area. So you don't wanna go blowing right into the middle of it. You wanna pick out spots on your property that have easy points of entrance. A back door such as a coulee, a draw, a river, a creek, or even along the neighbor's fence to get you in behind with the wind in your face to where the deer have been bedding. The deer, they were all piled up on the bottom. The feed was good, the timber was thick, and it was location, location, location for Mark Kayser to do some great rattling.
Mark Kayser is hunting his favorite of all whitetail haunts, South Dakota. He's located the deer herd and snuck in behind them. Now he just needs to call them out.
Buck coming right here. This buck, he was on the hunt for me. Still didn't know how good he was, but I was ready. And that's key in this type of aggressive hunting action. Can't tell how good he is. He's got split G2s though. Don't have your scope turned up too high. In fact, as this buck got closer, I had my scope on 6 power, and the dude is cutting the distance to me. So I turned it down to 4 to make sure I had plenty of field of view in case things fell apart at the last minute. Here he comes, straight at me, through the brush again, but I was catching good enough glimpses of him that I thought it was probably time to put the hammer down, and he was going to give me the opportunity. Super exciting action there. That buck, we rattled him in. He come in real cat-like. Usually they don't, but he was real cat-like. Coming around here through this super thick stuff. You could only catch glimpses of him here, there, and I couldn't quite see what he was. I still don't know what he was, but we're gonna find out. And he was trying his hardest to get downwind, but we positioned ourselves in a great spot. Except for there's no wind, but you can tell. Let's see what the wind's doing now. It's calm. Yeah, see, it's coming back in. Great spot. He couldn't get our wind here. As he was coming around, poked himself out right here, and I just didn't have the best shot because I was looking through brush, and he spooked, and he was quartering away. I could see him, and he hit one little pocket. I took the shot, boom, went right down. Now, I may sound like a broken record, but it's one reason I shoot a big caliber rifle. Had his quartering away shot right there. Had to take a snapshot to get him as he was kind of cutting to get out of there. But the 180 grain bullet, 300 Win Mag, dropped him. Let's go see what he is. Nice buck. He come in just perfect to the antler rattling. I mean, he come in hard and he come in silent. He's a good buck. He's got nice split G2 on his right, kicker point on his left, really good brows. And he come in just excited to the horns. You know, he wasn't charging in, but these bucks that are savvy, you know, that've been around the block a few times, they don't necessarily just walk right into a big fight. They kind of feel it out, see what's going on. That's exactly what this buck here, he was doing. He was making sure that he was in the right fight, and apparently he picked the wrong one.